Hello friends, welcome to my next video, Strategy for NEET PG 2022. Since I have lot of things to tell you, let's just cut short the video and make it straight to the point. First and foremost, let's see the number of subjects that we have. That's about total of 19. And now we would categorize them into different categories. Number one, let's say we have the basic subjects: anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, pathology, pharmacology, and microbiology. Let's call this the big six. Next, we have small subjects such as ENT, ophthalm, forensic medicine, radio, anesthesia, dermat, orthopedics, and ENT. That's called as small 8. Now let's see the final mains, that is medicine, surgery, OBGY, pediatrics, and preventive and social medicine. Let's call this the final 5. So you have big 6, small 8, and final 5 to cover. Now let's see how much time we have left to study. Beginning from the month of May, let's say your exam is in the month of in January, tentatively. So from May to December, you have a total of about 8 months. On an average, each month is 30 days. So total, you have about 240 days to cover your subjects. Now let's split this 240 days into the first 5 months and the last 3 months. In first 5 months, you will complete your first revision, followed by the last 3 months, which will use as your 3-month revision plan. Now let's see what resources do we have. You have many kinds of video lectures like PrepLadder, Marrow, DAMS, and so on and so forth. Any of these you can choose, and you can choose other options as well, but I'm mentioning these only because these are commonly used. Back in my time, that's about 3 to 4 years ago, when I gave my NEET PG, we did not have much of video lectures, but we had classroom teachings where we had a national faculty who used to teach us for 5 days and complete the entire subject. Now, since you have video lectures, you must realize one thing, that video lectures are more tiresome and it exhausts yourself because you're sitting in front of one screen and keeping up the pace for about 8 to 10 hours per day is very difficult. So you should have a different strategy of handling video lectures. Number one, watch all video lectures at about 1.5x or 1.8x speed if you're comfortable with it, because that can make you save more time. Second, do not make notes, as you already have notes ready-made, printed, or showing just below the screen or just below the video lecture. So you can just add on to those points, but do not make entire notes because that is more time consuming. Third, do not sit and watch all topics together. Watch only those topics which are difficult to understand, which are more conceptual, and which are high yield, because notes are used to know facts and videos are used to learn concepts. So this is an important thing that you should know. Let's say by reading the notes, if you're not able to understand a particular topic, then go for that particular video lecture. But watch video lectures of all conceptual and high yield topics. Let's say, for example, you're studying anatomy. In anatomy, you have different things like upper limb, lower limb, head and neck, brain, then abdomen and pelvis, then histology, embryology, and thorax. Out of these, the most conceptual or the most difficult part to visualize would be your head and neck, brain and spinal cord, and embryology. So watch all videos pertaining to this. Rest of the topics, you can read the notes, and in case you don't understand a particular topic, then go for watching those videos. In such a way, you can actually save a lot of time. Another important subject, if we consider, is physiology. Now, physiology is very, very conceptual. So watch all videos of physiology, because that is one of the big 6 which can help you learn your final 5 better. Now, the target plan for your studying should be 7 days per subject per week. Now, that it should be done only if you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable, go for one subject for 3 days in the week, and for next 3 days, go for another subject. Out of 7 days, 6 days should be studying new, and on the 7th day, that may be a Sunday, 7th day should be a revision of what you've studied the last 6 days and solving MCQs. During the weekdays, when you're reading a new subject, please avoid solving MCQs during that time and keep it for Sundays, so that the retaining capacity would be much more, and on Sundays you will be able to realize how much you have retained what you've learned in the last 6 days. Now let's go for your first agenda. Your first agenda should be completing your big 6 in 2 months. So let's say if we start for the month of May. In the month of May, you can complete anatomy, that may take about 10 days. Physiology, allot about 12 days. Biochemistry, allot 7 days. In the month of June, pathology, allot 10 days. Pharmacology, allot 10 days. And microbiology, allot 10 days. Remember, when we used to have the live lectures or classroom lectures, each subject used to take not more than 4 to 5 days, except for subjects like medicine. I have allotted more 5 days so that you would be able to complete your video lectures as well as one reading of your entire notes thoroughly. Next agenda, after you complete from month of May and month of June, completing the big 6, your next agenda would be your small 8. In the month of July, you can complete 5 subjects out of the small 8, which may include ophthalmology, ENT, orthopedics, radiology and psychiatry. Allot 5 days per subject out of your small 8 such that you complete all these 5 subjects in 25 days. And after that, you still have about 4 to 5 days, which may be your Sundays, for the revision of each week as well as solving MCQs. All Sundays, as I said, you're supposed to revise what you've read in last 6 days and solve one question paper. Remember, from the month of July, when you started your small 8, it's important that when you solve one question paper, combine questions from your big 6 also along with what you've read in your last 6 days. So that can help you catch up with what you've revised, what you studied earlier, so that a revision of that also occurs. Remember, do not solve more than 50 to 100 MCQs every Sunday, because you need time to read the explanation of those and to understand those explanations also. Now coming to the month of August. Now in the month of August, you will complete your remaining small 8 and you will start with your final 5. So your remaining small 8 would be anesthesia, dermatology and FMT. For each of them, you will allot only 3 days because those are short subjects. And you can do 2 subjects of the final 5 like PSM and OBGY. PSM you can allot 8 days, OBGY you can allot 8 days. Again, all Sundays you will revise what you read in last 6 days and solve one question paper, which includes your big 6, small 8 as well as the final one subject which you have studied. Now let's move on to the next month, that is September, which you will use to complete your remaining final 5. So for medicine, you will take 10 days, surgery 10 days and pediatrics 4 days. And all Sundays, you will revise your 1 week's reading and solve one question paper of all the subjects that you've read up till now. With this, you complete your first reading at the end of September. Remember, there are certain bonus days also, like once in 3 months you have a 5th Sunday. So on the 5th Sunday you can take it as your party time or you can enjoy that day, and remaining days itself, if you have something pending, you can use that time to complete what you have left out. So moving on with your revision plan, you have completed your first reading by September, solved almost 2000 MCQs, read all those explanations, and now you can go ahead with your 3-month revision plan. Remember, during your revision, you will require less time compared to less than half the time compared to what you took for going on with your first reading. And this I'm saying only with experience. So you will allot 4 to 5 days each for your big 6, 2 to 3 days each for your small 8, and 5 days each for your final 5. Let's start with the month of October. For anatomy, you can take 4 days, for surgery 5 days, orthopedic 2 days, radio 2 days, ENT 2 days, ophthalmology 2 days, gynec 5 days, anesthesia 2 days, and dermatology 2 days. I've clubbed these subjects together because these can be counted as your surgical subjects with an addition of one subject, that is dermatology. And Sundays, you will go on with your full 200 question paper solving of all subjects combined together. So by the end of October, you have solved 4 question papers of 200 questions each, and you have also done revision of nearly about 9 subjects by the end of October. Now moving on to your next month, that is November. November you can use to revise your medicine subjects like physiology, which can take 4 days, pathology 5 days, pharmacology 5 days, medicine 5 days, pediatrics 3 days, and biochemistry 4 days, along with each Sunday solving of one full question paper. Now coming to the last month before January, that is December, you have to complete the remaining revision, that is microbiology, you will take 5 days, forensic medicine you will take 2 days, psychiatry 2 days, and PSM 5 days. So if you see, by December 15th, you have completed your first revision, and for your second revision, you can choose among all these 19 subjects any 7 subjects which you find difficult to remember. or you can choose the difficult topics from each subject and use those 15 days to revise. By this, you will be ready for your examination in January. Now moving on, there are few things that you need to remember or few points that you need to remember when you're doing your entire study plan from May to December. First and foremost, do not learn or mug up your notes. Understand the concepts, correlate with each and every image that is shown in your video or in your notes, and acquaint yourself with various words and mnemonics. Next, when you get bored, solve your questions or close the notes and just close your eyes and sit and revise what you already read. Many of us have this problem where we try to avoid solving MCQs because we tell ourselves that we are not prepared. Never ever do that. How much ever you are prepared, please solve MCQs every Sunday like the way it is planned. And do not solve more than 50 to 100 MCQs every Sunday, at least till your first reading is completed, because you need time to read those explanations. When you read on one particular Sunday, when you solve on one particular Sunday, you will be able to understand up to how much time you're taking to solve, how much time you're taking to read the explanations. So choose the number of questions you need to solve according to that. Next, do not read everything. Pick and choose what is important, be quick, be smart, and give importance to high yield topics, which I will attach by the end of this video. Next, time yourself. It's important that you do not or probably you put your WhatsApp and your Instagram on silent when you're solving MCQs, as well as when you're watching videos or reading notes. And do not be disappointed with your Sunday marks. The Sunday marks are just a number. It is more for you to solve those MCQs, get the hang of it, and at the same time read the explanations and gain more knowledge from it. An important thing to remember while you're solving MCQs is use the art of elimination. When you read one particular question, do not go to find the right answer. See the options and choose why this is not an answer. So eliminate all the wrong options, then you will be able to find the correct answer. Another important point which I would like to suggest with my experience is maintain a diary. If you have a diary, maintain it in a format such that you have a day 1, you have date, below that you can write your topics covered and the total duration that you have studied on one particular day. By doing this, let's say you have not studied on any one day, then write the day and write there that wasted the whole day. So that next time when you open your diary, you would realize how much time you wasted and how much time you've utilized. If you've utilized a good amount, you will get motivated to study more. If you wasted, you will realize the mistake that you've committed. That helps you to keep a track of your progression. So these are few points which I feel are highly necessary for you to crack your NEET PG. Before concluding, I just want to tell you that you need to remember two things. You all have dreams. Just fill your mind with those dreams so you won't have time for petty pursuits, because commitment unlocks the doors to your dreams and gives you the right stuff to turn your dreams into reality. So if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe button.